So today we are still talking about coterminal angles. Last time we just talked about how to use degrees. Today we're going to do the same things but with radians. So with degrees, you remember we start at 0. This is 90, 180, 270, 360. But you could keep going on and on and on. If we're using radians, we know that we are going to still start here at 0, and we remember that a whole circle is 2 pi. So half of a circle is pi. And so then you think about what would go in between these things. 0 and 1 pi, well, this would be half a pi, so pi over 2. And then what would be between 1 pi and 2 pi? This would be 1.5 pi. But we're going to keep everything as improper fractions. So this would be 3 pi over 2. So let me show you some more angles. So if we look, this is what the circle looks like in radians. It still starts at 0, and this is pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. And then there are some other angles in between here. I mean, obviously there are an infinite number of angles in between, but this is just to get you started with kind of the main angles. And what I want you to realize is that if you are getting confused by fractions, you can always just turn everything into a decimal to kind of see where it's at. So like pi over 6, this is really 30 degrees, this is 45, this is 60. But you can think of this as 1/6 pi, and you can think of this as 1/4 and 1/3. And that will kind of help in terms of figuring out where things go and what they equal to. So you can always just turn any of these things into just, okay, this is 2/3. So I know that 2/3 is 0.6. So yes, that makes sense that that's in between a half of a pi and 1 whole pi. So all this is just using a fraction to represent how many radians there are in a circle. Oh no. Oops. All right. So the types of questions that we're asking are determining coterminal angles. So we remember that coterminal angles are angles that are going to land in the same spot. So if I have an angle right here and I want an angle that's going to land in the same spot, when we're talking about degrees, we would add 360 to it. So when we're talking about radians, that just means we're going to add 2 pi to this angle. So I have pi over 3 right here, and I'm going to add 2 pi. And if I add 2 pi, then, there are different denominators. So we can change this so that the denominators are the same. This has a denominator of 3. So we multiply both of these by 3. We get 6 pi over 3. So we'll have pi over 3 plus 6 pi over 3. And so this here would be 7 pi over 3. So that's how we would find a coterminal angle. And we'll do an example with a negative. So if I had this angle pi over 3, which we were just looking at, and then I add 2 pi to it, I get 7 pi over 3. If I wanted to find a negative, I would just subtract 2 pi. So pi over 3 minus 2 pi. Again, I would make a common denominator. So this is going to be over 3, so 6 pi over 3. So we get 1 pi minus 6 pi over 3 is negative 5 pi over 3. So we're not really learning a new skill today. You're still general angles by adding a full circle. But today you are going to make sure that you can do it with radians, not just degrees. So when we look at the activity that you're finishing over here, for these, like, you're going to take this and you would add 2 pi to it. You will want to change the common denominator. The other thing that you could do is if you really wanted to, you could change this into a fraction and then add 2 to it, or sorry, into a decimal, add 2 to it, and then find whatever matches. So you're going to finish each slide now. So here, again, you're looking for coterminal angles. Here, you should have done this already, and you're just doing this part. And then here, you are going to be figuring out where these angles belong, remembering that, you know, this is 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi, and you're wondering where this fits in. So you can change this into a fraction, or you could change, so if this is in ninths, then so this is still 0, and then this pi over 2, instead of thinking about it as pi over 2, you could, you know, put it in ninths. And that could be the way that you figure that out too. Okay, if you have any questions, then either email me or come to Zoom office hours. Have a good day.